I started walking every day a few years ago, and it completely transformed my life. I lost 60 plus pounds. I have more energy. I am happier. I am more emotionally regulated. I am a better woman. I am a better mother to my children. And it is all because I made the decision. I stopped negotiating with myself, and I made the decision to get up one day, put on my walking shoes, and start walking. I didn't know how I was going to get all the way to my goal. I didn't know how I was going to get there. But I remember that day that I was sitting on my recliner, sitting in my recliner with my Mo Control and just feeling sorry for myself and realizing, like, how did I let it get this bad? I remember my feet and my legs were so swollen because they was full of inflammation, and my feet and my legs, they were so swollen I couldn't even recognize my feet, couldn't even recognize my legs. I'm like, who feet is these, baby? These ain't my feet. I remember taking pictures and looking at the pictures, and I'm like, who is that? Who is that? And so, because life had been lifing, and single mother, raising children on my own, trying to figure out how I'm going to get things situated with my kids, with me, dealing with so much in life and trying to heal, trying to grow, trying to develop. You know how it is, baby, when life be lifing. And looked up and hadn't gained all this weight. Looked up and couldn't even recognize myself when I looked at myself in the mirror. And a few years ago, when I started on this journey, when God called me to this assignment, and I started getting online, and I started creating these videos, and this is something that has always been in me to do since I was a little girl. But in 2019, I went full time with it, and I came to the online space, and I started creating videos, and God eventually gave me a vision of a tour and showing me how the Divine Ones would be going on tour. And I had a realization, and I said, Toya, this body that you are in, because it wasn't just physical. It wasn't, this is what made me start. It wasn't just physical. It wasn't for vanity. It wasn't for the looks only. But it was because I had a realization moment where I looked at myself, and I had we used to call it come to Jesus meeting. I had a come to Jesus meeting with myself. And I realized that me being out of breath, me struggling to talk, me struggling to keep up with my kids, me walking from here to the mailbox and being out of breath, my body being inflamed, my feet and legs being so swollen to the point that they was unrecognizable, and I couldn't stand for that long. I had to go sit down, always looking for the first chair to go sit down. I realized that this is a body that is not going to serve my purpose. Okay, this is a body that is not going to get me to my divine destiny. If I keep going like this body is going to break down on me. So I made up my mind that I said, Lord, I'm going to get up. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know everything from A to Z, from 0 to 100. All I know is today. And I know today I'm going to get up and I'm going to go on this walk. And I remember at the time when I first started getting up, going to go walk, my neighborhood that I was living in, it was just not a good neighborhood. All kind of stuff going on, child. So I had to get up and go down to the park. I said, well, we got a park down here, so I'm going to get up and go down here to this park, and I'm start walking on this trail. And my children were smaller back then, so I used to take them to the playground. And then while they would be on the playground, I would be walking around the trail that was right there next to the playground. And it started like that. It started with me realizing that this body that I am in, it is not going to take me all the way to my destiny. If I keep going like this, because I came from a family of people having diabetes, high blood pressure, the whole nine, okay? And I knew that if I kept going with them same habits, if I kept eating like that with them M&Ms up under my pillow, king side M&Ms up under my pillow, drinking all these sugary drinks, sugary sodas, and just not conscious at all of what I was eating. And then at the time, my daughter she was around 7, 8 years old. She was picking up my same habits. She started eating just like me. She started not being active just like me. And so my habits and my ways were transferring over to her. And I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I said, we not finna have this, because I got 2 sons, I got a daughter, and they watching me. So I made a decision. And I said, I'm gonna break the pattern. I'm gonna break this generational pattern that has ran in my family of people not moving, not walking, not going to the gym, eating whatever they want, however much they want, and then going to the doctor like, I don't know how I ended up with this or how I ended up with that. I'm gonna break this pattern. So before I started walking, this began in 2021 when I finally got up and I started getting serious about my health and my fitness. Before I started walking, baby, my days were very sedentary. I sat around all the time. I started my business and my content journey and my coaching business. I started that in 2019. And when I left my job and I started working from home, I really got even more sedentary then. I would be sitting at my desk with my laptop or sitting in that recliner with that laptop, just eating, just sitting there eating. And then if I wasn't doing that, I was in the bed, working from the bed, laying around. So my life was very, very sedentary and very slow. I didn't do a whole lot of movement. And then as far as what I was eating, but we don't even want to go down that road. Let me see how much time we got. I got to get to the gym. How much time we got? I have to do that in a whole nother video when I talk about the bad eating patterns and the bad eating habits and pulling the plug on that. The fried foods, the fried chicken, the soul food, the extra cheesy macaroni and cheese, all of the supersonic double bacon cheeseburgers, the oxtails. The diet was just a hot mess. Nutrition, I didn't pay attention to no nutrition. I didn't eat whole foods. I ate whatever was convenient. And so that included DoorDash, that included drive-thrus, just anything that I could hurry up and go ahead and grab, because I was in the building phases of my business. And so I spent a lot of time at my laptop, spent a lot of time at my computer, my desk, and on coaching calls and taking classes and courses and investing in mentorship and guidance and learning how to do everything that I was doing in the coaching space. And so my body got put on the back burner. My nutrition got put on the back burner for a long time. And that was what my life looked like prior to me locking in on my health and fitness, on my health and wellness journey. I ate whatever and I didn't move. So what changed, what shifted, how I started to build up from there? As of today, of me recording this video, 2026, I walk 20,000 steps every day. That's every single day, 7 days a week. I walk 20,000 steps. I go to the gym and strength train 3 times a week. And while I'm at the gym, I've recently started doing the Stairmaster 3 times a week as well. And on top of that, I'm consistently still doing my 20,000 steps every single day. But it did not start like that, okay? How I eventually started building up to that point was when I first started looking at my steps, I was barely getting 2,000-3,000 steps a day. When I first started like actually looking and being intentional and clocking my steps, I saw that I was only getting 2,000-3,000 steps. So what did I do? I set a goal for 5,000. You got to be realistic. So I built up. I didn't jump off the porch and start walking 20,000 steps. Okay. It took me years to get to this point of walking 20,000 steps comfortably every day. But back then, the woman I was in 2021, 2022, she could not walk 20,000 steps in a day. She would have been in the hospital. Okay. So she had to set a goal for 5,000. Previous me, past version of me, said 5,000. And I remember being out on my walks and struggling to get to that 5,000. Like checking my watch every couple minutes. Like I ain't hit 5,000 yet. It seemed like forever. And so I was in that space for a long time until I eventually worked my way up to 7,000. I said, okay, let me get 7,000 steps in a day. And I hit that for a while. Then I moved up to 10,000. And baby, you couldn't tell me nothing when I hit that 10,000 mark. That was around 2024. That was the year 2024. Baby, I was clocking my 10K. I was getting it in. You couldn't tell me nothing. I'm like, oh, I walk 10,000 steps every day. And then eventually, because this how your body do, you keep building up, you keep growing. Your capacity starts to increase. So around 2025, I started, okay, let me go up to 12. Let me push that 12K. Okay, let me push that 15K. And eventually the 15 and the 12s, that just started feeling too low, started feeling too normal. So I pushed it up to 20K this year. So I've been walking 20,000 steps every day since April. I started in April of 2026, and I have seen major transformation. It's like all the walks throughout the years, the compound effect is happening, and I'm seeing benefits from walks that I did in 2023, 2024, 25, earlier this year in 2026. I'm realizing that the compound effect, the atomic habit effect, it is happening through these walks, that little by little my body is transforming, my spirit, my mental, my emotional, my physical, my financial, everything. The walks transform everything. One of the things that surprised me the most about walking every day is how it has regulated my appetite. My appetite used to be crazy. I used to want to, all I could think about was food. I'm being real. All I could think about was food, what I'm going to eat, what y'all got in here to eat. When we touch down somewhere, the first thing on my mind, what we going to stop and eat? It was constantly about food, food, food. What I'm going to eat? What I'm going to eat today? What I got to taste for today? Baby, now that walking has become a regular part of my lifestyle, food is not the highlight of my day no more. Food is not the highlight of my day. The highlight of my day is going on prayer walks. I love to find me a good trail. I love to just zone out, get into my flow state on my walking pad, listening to the Bible, hearing God speak to me, going outside in nature, walking, watching the sunrise, watching the sunset while I'm walking with my family, with my kids, my daughter and my son. They coming into it now. Yesterday, my daughter hit 15,000 steps. Shout out to Tamar with the 15,000 steps. TJ right behind her yesterday with the 10,000 steps. So this is what has surprised me. One of the things that has surprised me the most about walking is seeing how it has first regulated my appetite, how it has shifted my mindset when it comes to food. I still eat foods that I love. I still enjoy myself, have a good time, eat food, enjoy my family, but it is not the highlight of my day. It is not the highlight of my life. It is not what floats my boat. I just eat the food and then I keep it moving. And then I'm instead of looking forward to the food, I'm looking forward to the experiences of life. I'm looking forward to the walks. I'm looking forward to seeing that 20,000 steps and the confetti falls all over my phone because I hit my 20K step goal. Watching my children hit their step goals. That's the highlight of my day. And that's one of the things that has surprised me the most is the eating, the regulation of my appetite, how food is not the center of my day, it's not the center of my life no more, and seeing the effect that's happening with my children. That's priceless. That's priceless. So I want to bring this video to a close by saying this to you, that if you are ready to shift some things in your life, if you are ready to get to the next level, if you are ready to transform your body, transform your life, your business, your family, and you want to also create a different culture in your household, you want to break the cycle, you want to break the pattern that's ran for so long in your family, Start right there where you are, okay? Because for some of you that's watching this video right now, I have been exactly where you at. Exactly where you at, sitting in that chair trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that. But I put that stuff down and I put on my walking shoes and I went outside. And you might have to do like I did, that maybe you can't go out in your neighborhood. Maybe you got to go find a park, or maybe you just pacing around in your house. But whatever you're doing, I want you to get up and I want you to start walking. I want you to set a realistic step goal for you. Don't try to shoot for 20K, 30K. Don't do that, because you're not going to be able to stay consistent with that. Start where you are. If you only averaging 2,000 to 3,000 steps, then set a 5K step goal and hit that consistently every day. Okay, this is why I don't want you to aim too far up, because you're going to be walking these steps every day. It's better to do a little thing every day, every single day, than to go super intense and you only hit that once a month. You only hit that once a week. That's not enough for it to compound. That's not enough for you to get the results that you want to get. So let's go lower and let's aim to hit that every single day. 5K every single day. 7K every single day. That is more powerful than you hitting 20,000 steps one day in 3 months, and then you spend the other 3 months recovering from that one day, traumatized by all that walking that you did, because your shins were hurting and your legs was hurting because you tried to bite off more than you could chew. I'd rather you walk 5K every day, 7 days a week, okay? And then after 3 months, after you consistently hit 5K steps, then you could say, okay, let me move up to 7K, okay? So that's how we're going to do this thing, baby. Slow and steady win this race. So I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. I'm going to be incorporating more of these videos into my YouTube channel and into my content, because walking has become such a huge part of my life, my family, with my children, with my brand, with what I do for the Lord, with everything. So I'm going to be making more content where I'm just sitting down talking to you about my walking journey, and then what you can do to get started from wherever you are. So y'all lock in, baby. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click that like button. Share this video with somebody else to get them motivated on their walking journey, because it's time. It's time to lock in, okay? And if you're ready to get this thing in person, you want an in-person experience, we are on tour. The Divine Ones are officially on tour, and we are coming to Atlanta at the end of this month. If you're watching this before August the 29th, 2026, go below in the description, click that link and sign up. Get your ticket. We got virtual tickets as well available for you if you can't travel to Atlanta. Next month, we're going to be coming to Panama City, Florida. And then we're going to be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida for the Wealth Summit with Coach Tyson and the Change Agents. Also, later on this year, we're going to be in Chicago. I'm so excited about Chicago. We'll be dropping the link for that soon. So the Divine Ones are on tour, baby. We're getting in the room. We're getting in the room. This is for my people that you've been watching these videos and you've been getting blessed, and now you're ready for an experience beyond the screen. Now you're ready to get in the room. Okay, in case you didn't know, the Divine Ones are getting in the room. So come on in, baby. I'll see you for the Divine Ones tour. Y'all be blessed and get to walking. Let's get them steps in. Okay, let's get to moving, baby. We doing this thing for the kingdom. I love y'all.